and welcome to today's program. This is Migori Central SDA YouTube channel, and this is Manukato, where there is fragrance of grace. On today's program is health segment, and I am joined by a beautiful lady, and she's going to educate us on the predisposing factors that come along with drug and substance abuse. In case you're watching us for the first time, kindly find time to watch the previous episode where we discussed about too much, too often, too little, prolonged usage. It's actually a substance abuse. You may be doing it at home unknowingly. Now that you know, kindly change your ways. I would want us to believe and pray. Our Father and our God who art in heaven, we thank you so much for this opportunity that you've granted unto us to share your word. Lord Father, may you soften our hearts and give us good listening skills. Let all that we are going to learn in today's show draw us closer and teach us how to live in this world. Let your will be done, for this is our prayer by faith in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you for hosting me once again today.
Welcome.
Dear viewers, you're welcome. And today we're going to talk about some of the factors that predisposes us, our spouses, our friends, our youths into drug and substance abuse. One of them is family influence. One will just begin taking alcohol because my father is taking alcohol, and my father is doing it in the presence of the children. As a parent, you'll go home, you're tired at the end of the day, then you tell your daughter or your son, give me a bottle of wine. Give me a glass of wine. Get me a beer from the fridge. It is there. So they'll simply take it because you're also taking it. However much you'd wish them not to take it, they'll do it in your absence. By the time you notice, we are done. They're already addicted to some drug. The other way is curiosity. And we all know that curiosity killed the cat. You want to know how it feels. What is the experience? Because I see them staggering when they take alcohol. Will I also stagger? I see them having fun in clubs when they take alcohol. I've never taken one. How will I feel when I take a bottle of alcohol? It all begins by let me taste. You taste a tot. You taste a glass. Now it's a whole bottle. And the next day, it's a whole crate. The other thing is need to cope with the problems. We all agree that we have problems. Is it unemployment? Is it education? Lack of housing? Lack of money? Poverty? Someone tells you, kama uko na shida mingi, you take alcohol and you will forget. It's true you have problems. And if alcohol would make you forget, why not? So it begins by you saying, why not? You drink a glass, you forget. You sniff, you forget. So because the problem is always there with you, you will continue. Hence, dependency. The other thing that we talk about is when you are idle. An idle mind
is the devil's
workshop. You start imagining things. And last week we talked about risks. They begin in your mind. So you start thinking, now that there's nothing that I'm doing, what do I do to make myself busy? Why not? Why not take alcohol? Why not take a drug here and there? Why not just try it? The other thing that we have as risk is stress and depression. The drugs that we talked about are classified, and some of them are depressants, some of them are stimulants. So when you're already depressed, you want a drug that is going to make you happy. So you're going for a stimulant. You take it and all your problems are gone and you become happy. But because you love the feeling of being happy, what do? You will continue and continue until you're dependent. Another cause is these commodities have become easily available. You walk downtown, you'll find those shops that are open and you'll easily get those drugs there. Price, you get it. You have 10 shillings, you'll get. You have 20, you get. You have 1,000, you get. And it is given to you according to the amount that you have, when you want it, where you want it. This one makes it very easy for drugs and substances to be abused. The other reason we have is desire to belong. These are my friends. They are taking alcohol to have fun. So how do I have fun with them if I'm not taking alcohol? So what do? You find yourself taking alcohol with them. You find yourself smoking bang with them. So that you belong in that group, those who feel high, those of high classes. I once worked in a place where in the morning, Monday morning, what people talk about are the brands of alcohol they took over the weekend. So you seated at a corner, you did not take any, you start alienating yourself. You feel very isolated because you don't even know what the names of those brands are. So for you to feel part of that team every Monday or the weekend, I would go doing window shopping to find out which ones are the most expensive alcohol, which ones are very classy, so that on Monday I can fit in that discussion. It all begins when you want to fit in, which will not even be an issue in the first place.
Sure.
The other thing is desire to gain courage. You want to do something, but you don't have the courage. When you're sober, you cannot do it. I used to have an uncle. He passed on some years back. So when my grandmom went against anything that he said, or he got angry with my grandmother, you'd hear him say, let me go take alcohol so that I can come. Yes, I can come and tell her the truth. Let me go and take alcohol for her. And he would go, would come back drunk, and would tell my grandmother the whole truth as he wanted it to be done. So basically, he needed the alcohol to gain courage. He needed the alcohol so that he could stand with his mother and tell his mother the truth. We have those that for them to go and dig in the shamba, they take bang. The first thing you call them to come and work in your garden, you'll see them smoking. They will dig the whole day without even asking for food because of the kind of strength they've gotten from it. I've seen doctors, Emma, that before a surgery, they would take a bottle of beer. Before a surgery, they would smoke, and then they would go an 8-hour surgery without any issues. So these are some of the reasons that someone would take the drugs or the substances that we talked about. The other thing is desire to remain awake. And this mostly happens to the students, to the pupils that go to school. You have exams, you've not read the whole term. So what do? You want to stay awake straight 3 days studying so that you may go and pass that exam. You will not pass, Emma. Because when the brain decides to shut down, it will shut down while you are having your exams in front of you.
Sure.
And you'll simply close your eyes and go. So basically, I'm saying that you really need to plan yourself well so that you don't need stimulus so that you can study hard. You need to study smart. Then another one is encroachment of foreign values. Traditionally, we used to grow up in a setup where it was a communal based. When you find a child that is doing wrong, you'd easily spank them. Yes. And they would go and report to their mother who will again spank them. Currently, it is individualized, where you are doing your own things and should never bother about the other.
Yeah.
If you find your daughter, the daughter of your friend, doing something that is wrong, you can't ask because it's wrong for the parent. Yeah. And the parent will easily tell you, let me handle my own children my own way. Let me discipline them my own way. That is what the problem is now. Because you'll find them taking alcohol in areas that you pass and their parents are not aware. But there's nothing you can do about it. The parent will easily tell you, let me handle it my own way. The communal thing, the custom that we used to have as Africans, all disappeared when westernization came in, when globalization came in. Now the only thing that we have to teach us is the internet, the phones that we are having, the movies that we see. And this one, some of those things that they watch in those things is what encourages them to indulge in drug and alcohol abuse. Because they are all over, they are being advertised. When I was growing up, there's one of those adverts that was saying, you fly like a bird. So when you take that drink, then you fly like a bird. Who didn't want to fly?
None.
Everyone will want to fly. So what would I do? I would go and get that drink and fly like a bird. And I would fly every day of my life. That one is what we're going to say, you're already dependent. And finally, we have the adverts. And these I've talked about. What they say about a specific illegal, illicit drink, illicit substance. You're told how good it is. And you're going to see in some of those photos that we have, when they put an illicit drug, an illegal drug, and draw an aeroplane and tells you, choose wisely. If you want to fly, then you use this one. People will want to fly because they are curious. So some of these factors are dependent on each other. They build on each other. And finally, we call you a drug abuse.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Out of the things that you have said, there is one that has taught me that as a parent, I need to choose wisely where I take my children to. Sometimes as parents, we may decide to take our children to a hotel for a lunch out or a dinner date. And in that particular place, it also has a bar. So you may find that if it is a habit that you take your children to such a place each and every time, one of them may become curious and may ask or try to establish what really happens along that dimly lit corner. And out of it, that particular child may decide now to start taking alcohol. Without your knowledge, she may become an addict. So it is very important for us parents to always choose the hangouts wisely. Because sometimes we may feel that we are showing them love, but unknowingly we are introducing to them to substance abuse. Another take home that I have learned, my dear viewer, and I also know that you've also learned, is that pressures, we should not bow to pressures of life. We should know that God has a purpose for us, and indeed, in his purpose, we must accomplish his plan by choosing that which is right and by committing them to God. And lastly, we should always know that every choice that we make today is shaping our life that we will live tomorrow. Therefore, I am leaving you with these words: choose wisely. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share this particular show. Remember, this is Manukato, where there is fragrance of grace. I am glad that you have tuned in all along into our show. See you next week, because we still have much more on drug and substance abuse. Thank you.